But let me start with sitting in the power. And for those of you who are familiar with this, you can already start thinking about that light that we're going to be joining with. And I'm sure you're looking forward to that. But sitting in the power, or a lot of times you'll see it abbreviated in a class as SIP, SIP. And especially when I'm doing a development circle, which that's for another night, you'll get to experience what a real genuine development circle is like, not tonight, but in the future. It's an integral part of tuning in for mediumship, but it can be used by anybody to feel good, to be attuned to the world around you, both seen and unseen. Sitting in the power is not connecting. Sitting in the power is preparing to connect. It's an important distinction. Some people sit in the power for 5 or 10 minutes. Some people sit in the power for 2 or 3 hours. Some do it every day. And even with professional mediums, they may just do it once a week and have some other way that they tune in for their work. So what is sitting in the power? It is sitting in the presence of the divine source, the universal consciousness, with all that is, ever was, and will be. And it's basically being in light to be enlightened. And so the goal, again, can't stress this enough, it's not to get messages or see things or envision things, although there can be a narrative leading up within the sitting in the power process that gets you connected with that bigger light, that oneness. Yes, there can be talking or listening to a guided meditation to get you there. But the sitting in the power part is actually when your inner light merges with a much bigger light. And that much bigger light represents all of us, all of universal consciousness. One teacher told me that it's like one of the ways that you get to remember the Christ consciousness. It's one of the ways that you touch the face of God, because when we're in the physical body, the density, the three-dimensional density, our own power, we forget our own connection. And you've heard all this before. I'm not trying to give you platitudes like, oh, we're all connected, and that. It's just true. It simply is true. But we have to also have this illusion of separateness so that we can make our way in this world. I personally believe that humanity only finds the light on earth through the darkness, and that there is always light. So that your process of sitting in the power reminds you of the light no matter what. So when we do this, I'll have a little bit of speaking, but then I will sort of just deposit you in this light and let you be there for a couple or 3 minutes. And some people feel like the first time they do this, and I know you're not all first timers, but they feel like that was not long enough to sit quietly, or that was too long. Some of the feedback I got many years ago on this was I got mad at myself doing this because I started thinking about what am I going to make for dinner tonight and things like that. And you know what? That's okay, because with time and practice, when a thought comes in, you start to get more automatic about just going, oh, there's a thought, oh, thought. You don't try to entertain it, but you also don't make any effort to push it away. You simply just go back into that light. Now, what does this do for us? First off, gives us a nice break in addition to that connectedness, but it does something to the etheric and mental and emotional layers of the aura to allow more light to stay with you. And that's why some people, I have a fellow colleague who says, I'm kind of addicted to meditation, and told me what he's doing. I'm like, yeah, you're sitting in the light that whole time. His wife had to tell him, honey, knocking on the door, it's been 4 hours. Are you okay in there? Because it feels so good. Now, we're definitely not going to do that tonight, but I don't expect you to think that you should be able to make your mind just about light for a huge, long period of time. So I'm trying to temper expectations so that you enjoy this more and judge yourself less. And having worked with students for quite a while now, I know that we're really hard on ourselves when we could just relax and enjoy. So, what's the best way to be able to relax and enjoy sitting in light? It's to give your mind something to do. So, what we do is we count breaths. And I have old recordings somewhere of some of the mediums that are now on the other side, and their entire sitting in the power recordings, which I had them on CD and all that, counting breaths for like half an hour, counting breaths. So we'll do a little bit of that, and then I'll have you also, I'll show you how to do it and then let you do it on your own. But I also want to temper your expectations here. It's not about having a perfect count. So I've heard it all. And I've heard folks say, I did the whole thing wrong. I'm so disappointed because my count got off and I was off from everybody else. You're sitting in the light. You're already connected with everyone else. You're connected with Source, no matter how imperfectly you feel you did it. So there's quite a few people that's their first time. It's just relax and enjoy. And the homework assignment is going to be to sit in the power every day for 7 days straight. It's finding the light inside of you, visualizing and imagining or simply knowing that there's a bigger light outside of you, merging those lights and counting breaths. And you could even set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes. 10 minutes would be perfectly fine. And that way you'll, just have some consistency to it. If you have to start with 5 and build your way up to 10, that's fine. If you want to go longer, that's fine. But whatever you do, please do it 7 days in a row. And then what you'll find is you may not want to do this every day. I don't. But in the future, it's like you've learned how to ride that new bike. So when you get back on, it's automatic. Makes sense? And it may seem like I'm making a big deal out of something so simple, and I am for a reason. The more that you are comfortable, the more likely you are to do it. So let's go ahead now and do some sitting in the power together. I'm going to ask you, if you can, to have both feet flat on the floor. So close your eyes and take a cleansing breath however you like, but just make sure you exhale completely. And let's get a total of 3 nice cleansing breaths. And the first thing that I want to do, I'm not sure who's done their grounding and centering today, so I'm going to assume we all need it. So I'm going to ask you to visualize or imagine or simply know that you are inside of a big golden bubble that's bathed in divine white light. And this beautiful bubble represents sacred space with gratitude and joy. We're grounded, centered, healthy, happy, and whole. Just listen to the sound of my voice. And I would like you to bring your awareness to your physical body now. Notice your feet on the floor. Notice where you are seated, the softness or the hardness of the seat. In fact, I'd like you to just sit back and meld even more into wherever you are seated, on the bed, on the chair, on the floor, wherever you are. It is just right for your purpose. And roll your shoulders back. Roll your shoulders forward. Tilt your head side to side. And take one more cleansing breath. Good. You are a beautiful, divine, sacred being. You are of the light. And deep within you, the light shines so brightly. In fact, I want you to locate a light deep within your abdomen. And you may see this as a candle, a flame, perhaps it's a light bulb. However you visualize or imagine, or perhaps you simply know, there is a bright light deep within your abdomen. And you may know this light as your chi, or ki, or prana, sacred tendon, life force energy. This represents the divine within. See that light shining brightly deep in the abdomen, and thank this light for all the gifts it gives you. And now you know you are one with the light, and that you have your personal power and sovereignty. And with that, I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I reach 1, I want you to make that light shine more brightly. 3, 2, 1, brighter. And the light is even brighter within you. And the next time that I count up, I want that light to shine throughout your whole body, up and down through the whole body. 3, 2, 1, brighter. So that you're shining from within and something amazing is happening. The light becomes bright all around you, your own inner light illuminating your entire body so that you're shining from within and shining from without. And be in this moment, not a second before, not a second after, but in the now, the right now, and breathe. It feels so good and so right to shine your light, but you are ready to let your light shine even more brightly. And as you think about your light and the gratitude you have for your life force energy, an even brighter light appears in your room. Inside your beautiful golden bubble in your room, somewhere above you is an even brighter, bigger light. And this light represents all of the love that is free floating in the universe, all of humanity, all animals and plants. It is the divine spark, the divine light. You are not separate from this light, but you have temporarily separated in your thinking from the light. It's time to go back to source and join so that we are all one in every way. This light is getting brighter and brighter outside of you, and at the same time, the light deep within you is becoming brighter and brighter. This next time that I count, both of these lights will merge together. 3, 2, 1, merge. 1 with the light. 1 with the light. 1 with the light. You are now in the power and in the presence of universal love and consciousness, strength and wisdom, guidance and peace. And it feels so good, so right to bathe in this connectedness. And now to stay in this connectedness and relax, let's count our breaths. You can begin anytime you like, counting in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and count the breaths If you need another beat, if your breaths are longer in and out, however this works for you, count in your mind the numbers, sit in the light, and simply be. And I will leave you here, breathing, counting, being, for just a moment. Very good. It feels so good, so right to remember this oneness, to remember the bright light you truly are. Take this feeling with you, and remember you can return here anytime. You are always one with the light in every moment. You have simply come across the way to remember. Whenever you're ready, you can take a big breath, stretch, and open your eyes. I hope you've enjoyed this excerpt from one of my courses. Study with me at carefreemedium.com.